And he was,
Son of a bitch.
oh, that's okay. Am I okay to keep talking?
Yeah, keep talking. We'll do the audio.
Okay, that's fine. But so in at the bar in person, this guy was definitely more of a swipe right. And I ended up, getting his phone number and having a connection with him. If I would have just seen his Bumble profile, I would have 100% swiped left. So I think that's part of my thoughts behind this is getting people in groups in person to meet because you can't through a dating site online sense somebody's energy, right? You're not getting the full effect of that person. Like Lisa on a dating app is, I put nice photos of myself. I have a nice profile on there. But like my personality and who I am in person, it's still two totally different things. And I would much rather somebody gravitate towards me because we had a really great conversation or we, our vibe kind of clicks versus you just saw a good picture of me and you swiped on me because of that.
And I've noticed there are so many women posting thirst traps for the guys. I guess it's what the pictures with the fish, I think, is the problem with the men on the dating sites.
So I do have a TikTok and I have done a video on guys on dating apps, like what not to do. The fish thing, I don't understand why they all think. Actually, I think that men on dating sites are a little bit more of a catfish than women are.
Really?
So, yeah, what I have found a lot of times is they just I don't know. They look so much more different in person than they do in the apps. Again, another reason why I would so much rather go out and meet people and see them in person versus in pictures. And a lot of times I shouldn't say a catfish. I should say I don't think men always look the same as they do in their pictures online, and it can go both ways. Either their pictures are way, way, way better and they don't look anything like that in person, or vice versa, where they take horrible pictures. That's probably more what I see. They take horrible pictures, but in person, they're a nice looking guy. And to your point, looks are not everything. And especially as you get older, like my list of what I'm looking for in a partner is so different from, what it was years ago, but looks are important. You do have to have some sort of attraction, to kind of get the ball rolling. And I just think getting out in person, it's so much easier to see that and to really see what somebody has to offer.
We're talking to Lisa Dunn here on the Scott Sand Show, the podcast edition. If you're just joining us, she's created a group online. It's 419 Singles. You can find it on Facebook. And if you're watching the video, it's joined in progress. The entire audio will be at the link below, I'm sure, so you can hear the beginning of the conversation. It's the first time I'm doing the official Scott Sancho podcast, so I expected to make a mistake. I'm sorry it happened to be with Lisa. We'll have her on again, I'm sure. And in fact, at some point, we'll probably be joined on the video by my producer, Tiger the Cat, who I forgot to lock in the other room. So he'll probably hop up on here at any moment hearing me speak. So thanks to Lisa for joining us. 419 Singles. There's an event this weekend. Anybody can join the Facebook group, right? I assume that you should be single if you're going to join the 419 Singles group.
100%. So the way it works is I've just had so many questions about it. And again, kind of asking people a little bit to have a little bit of patience with me because I am still, this all happened so quickly, like within 4 weeks. And so I'm just trying to really get everything organized the best that I can and make it as nice as possible. And, just kind of trusting a little bit in me. But the way it works is anyone can join the Facebook group. I think we're close to 1,200 members right now on that. And again, only 4 weeks, which shows me that there is a need for this in our community. And then if you want to attend the events that I am putting together and organizing, you do have to do a one time annual fee of $45 as well as an application. Now, I've gotten a little bit of flack with that. Actually, there was a whole thing. I had a whole thing this morning on that. Are we dating the same person site where somebody posted and they're like, oh, this girl's just trying to get money, blah, blah, blah. This is not like a money grab. This is a time consuming thing for me to do. And there's a couple of reasons for the fee. One, my time and what I'm doing for the group and the business that I'm building out of this. Two, it's a little bit of me asking you to put some skin in the game, right? Like, if you're not willing to put a little bit of an investment, are you really looking for something intentional and something quality? I personally have spent easily $30 in 1 week on Bumble just to see my likes ahead of time or to boost my. I probably spent more than that on Bumble in 1 week. That's embarrassing to say, but it's true. So, or I made the comment the other night when I was doing the other podcast. It's like I spend $45 on Chick-fil-A going through there. And not on just
The hell are
myself.
you getting at Chick-fil-A for 45 bucks?
A friend of mine listened to it and they go, what are you spending $45? I said, not just for me. I was like, but like if I go through like even one kid can sometimes be, you know, $45.
I mean,
So
those nuggets are good, but that's a whole lot of nuggets.
it is, it's a small, in my mind, the way I look at it is I'm asking you to do a small investment to show that you are in it for the right reasons. And also because you value the fact that I am taking your application, I am screening the applicants, making sure they're not on the national sex offender list,
Are you
making
really?
sure, yeah, making sure
That's
that they're
great.
not super, super, crazy looking on their profiles, and making sure that they meet a few of the basic qualifications, which one is, are you gainfully employed or retired and you have an income during your retirement? And
Do you have
and
a
I
job?
think
Do you still live with your mom? Are you in a
uh,
basement somewhere? Are you a sex offender? Those are good questions to ask.
I think they're very simple questions. The questions I ask on the application are nothing more than what you would fill out to join Bumble or Tinder. And I think that they're valid questions. People are like, well, why do you need my address? Well, I want to make sure that you live within the parameters of the group. So it's the greater Toledo area and within 60 miles. I'm a little flexible on that. There are some neighboring communities that I've included, like let's just say Findlay or Fremont, where I think they're kind of maybe right on the cusp or the edge, but I think they're close enough to include them until maybe we get something going in their community. Um, but yeah, so I think what I'm asking from people is a minimal fee. It's a one-time annual fee that they pay. It is allowing me to make sure that these events have the right kind of people. They're like-minded singles that are looking for something a little bit more intentional.
And the first event is this weekend, just in time to maybe find somebody for Valentine's Day. Tell me about the event, and then I want to talk about dating a little bit more. We're talking to Lisa Dunn,
Yeah.
and then you can find the group on Facebook, 419 Singles. So tell me
Well,
about the event.
so the event's just Saturday, February 8th. It's at 7 p.m. at Bar Louie in Perrysburg. It's going to be super casual. So everyone's kind of like, what's the deal with this? And, it's not, I didn't want to do anything crazy off the bat, like something
There's a
that was like
woman
a,
wearing a fur coat right now.
I will be wearing my fur coat or a dress. I am going to dress to impress. I did kind of tell people that you don't have to wear a suit and a tie, but, dress like you would if you were going on a first date. Show up like you're putting a little bit of effort in because I think that's important in the dating
Shower,
world. Take a
show some
shower,
cleavage, whatever you want.
cut your nails, like do all your stuff. Put a little cologne on, put some effort in because I think that's kind of something in my mind that is really lacking in the dating world in 2025. It's and it is because of the social media, right? We've lost like having to put any effort in. It's just like swipe, swipe, swipe. Oh, I found somebody. Oh, I'm gonna chit chat. Do you want to come to my house and Netflix and chill? Like, mm, I'm ready to take it back. I'm an old school girl. Like I'm an 80s and 90s baby too, right? So it's like, I want to take it back to something a little bit more traditional, something more intentional. And that's what I'm hoping Saturday is the kickoff to. Now, that being said, this is the first event. I am really just, making it a very simple event to get people out of their house, out of their shell, and just kind of gauge the the interest, the demographics, and where we're going in the future of 419 singles. I do have the next 4 events planned. Um, Once you join and become a member, you will get a follow-up. You get information about this weekend and the event, and then you will be getting a follow-up email with our next series of events that are coming up, including a 50 and over event. So that's something that I've had a lot of interest in. A lot of people in that age range have reached out and said, I don't know if I really feel comfortable coming to something that's like people 21 and over, but, would you be interested or would you be willing to host something for 50 and over? I think it's a great idea. So the next event will be a 50 and over event. Um, and then I'm working, like the casino reached out to me, multiple bars and restaurants reached out to me, trying to set something up at a walleye game. So then I'm working with other businesses in the greater Toledo area to hopefully plan, some really cool out of the box things where people can come and have, a fun night, maybe some activities, maybe some food included, and just get to do that with people that are single.
Lisa Dunn, 419 Singles. It's on Facebook if you want to find out more information. And just go back to a piece of advice. When she says wear a little bit of cologne, she means a little bit, guys, not an entire can of Axe body spray. That's not the way to go.
No.
Do we need to promote any sponsors for the event? You don't want to, you want to sign up before you find out where it is and when it is, I guess.
Yeah, so the event is actually, I mean, it's in a public place, right? So people can come. If you are single and you don't want to come by yourself and your friend is coupled up or married, those people can come. Only to this first event. There's media coming, there's, some of my friends and family. It is a kickoff to what now has become a business. Um So it is open. However, at this event, if you are part of the group, if you've been vetted, screened, and accepted, you do get a wristband. That is what's going to note to people that you are single and you're part of the group. Okay. In the future, the events will not be open like this. It won't be just a general kickoff party. They will be only open to the group members.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, 419 Singles on Facebook. It's really easy. You fill out the application, get all of the information. I sent you a story I saw earlier this morning. Um, this is why I think guys are finding it more and more difficult to date. There was a list of nearly 30 places women refuse to go on a first date. And I get some of these. I
Some of
mean,
them, yes.
one of these is somewhere that requires a long drive. Absolutely. I do not want to be on a first date stuck in a car with somebody I've never met for 4 hours. That sounds absolutely miserable. But some of
Miserable.
these, somebody, a bar just for drinks or a coffee date, even an ice cream date, those make sense to me as a good first date. It's not a long time commitment, right?
I agree. I actually was kind of comprising a little list of places in our area that I thought were good date ideas, and that's part of the group, right? That's things that I want to continue to do is maybe post those on the Facebook group. You know, just help promote other businesses that have things going on. I know like the casino has a speed dating event going on tomorrow night, things like that. I had posted like for the Toledo City paper, they've got their their singles issue coming up. So like I think that there are a lot of things in our area that make for great dates or ideas for people to do. And many of them are on the list that you sent me. So I was kind of shocked. Like I get not going to a fast food place. I think that's it's a little tacky, right?
And you don't want to go
But
to a movie or a concert on a first date because you can't have a conversation.
yes. However, I one of the best dates I ever went on was to the Chris Stapleton concert this past summer. It was a really good date and it was at a concert because we met ahead of time. We had some conversation. We went to the concert, enjoyed ourselves. It was a little bit of both. But I can see that. I can see where that would be tricky or hard to maybe get to know the person. Um, I don't know, like some of those things. First of all, and I'm a pretty bougie girl, but the first thing on there was no Cheesecake Factory. I'm gonna
Right.
tell you right now.
Some of these, the places women refuse to go on a first date: Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, Buffalo Wild Wings, Red Lobster. Uh,
I think it's the
Look,
chain.
I'm not going to take a first date to a restaurant, but there's nothing wrong with those restaurants. And if that's what you have in your budget, then
Or
give
in
the
your
guy a chance.
community.
Right.
A lot of think about it this way. People that live in rural areas, they might not have a ton of options of places to go. So like they might be very limited and maybe only have one or two of those places. I don't think necessarily that those first of all, anyone can take me to Cheesecake Factory, okay? Like I freaking love Cheesecake Factory, so let's just throw that out there. If you are taking Lisa on a date, that place is game on. But some of them I kind of get. Maybe they think it's a little Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'll throw down on some Olive Garden breadsticks too. Like, I personally enjoy supporting local businesses more. I like
Right.
going to businesses that are in my community, restaurants. I always say Souk is one of my absolute favorites. Okay. I'm going to take people there and choose to go someplace like that because it's locally owned. It's a fantastic atmosphere. It is a much more conducive place for like a little bit more of an intimate date. So I would definitely pick something like that if it were me picking it. But
Yeah.
again, if
What are your
somebody,
some of the best date places in town, locally owned restaurants like Souk,
yes,
Registry Bistro,
100%.
Tango, The
Yep.
Standard. I mean,
Oh, the
Farnsworth
standard.
Cocktail and
Yes.
Waterville, all great places to go.
So of course, and as someone who I've always been a big, I mean, I used to do TV and radio in Toledo, promoting Toledo, as someone who's always been a big promoter of our community, I'm 100% going to choose those places and support local first, okay, versus the big chains. But again, some people don't have a lot of options. That might be the options in their community. And I think to me, it's more about, are you a gentleman? Are you a lady? Are you, going into this with good intentions? Are you making an effort versus the location that the day is in?
Lisa Dunn, 419 Singles. The event is this weekend, but there are more events planned. Go to the Facebook page. Do you have a website? Do you have any other social? I know you're on TikTok and some other platforms. What are the best ways to find out more information about being single in the 419?
Well, since I have officially become the single guru of Toledo, you can follow me, Lisa Lento Dunn, on Facebook, or 419 Singles on Facebook as well. You We do have the digital form for the application. It's all linked on both of those pages. And I am working on the website right now. So my hope is to have the website up within the next couple of weeks. But again, this really took off so quickly that it was like, oh man, I gotta hurry up, get all this stuff done because I was literally like sick, like on my deathbed with um I was so sick for like 3 weeks in January. I had a little bit of everything. But I was sick. I'm laying on the couch. I was like, oh, I'm so sick of this dating scene. And really I had not been
Nobody
myself.
to nobody
Or
to
go,
bring you chicken soup and take care of you, read you bedtime
you know
stories.
what? I was kind of thinking that because I had to beg my teenage son and his buddy to like go to Kroger and pick up my prescriptions. And so I'm laying there and it is kind of when it hit me, right? I was like, okay, Lisa, like it's time to get back out there. It's time to date intentionally because I feel like I took a lot of 2024 to heal, to work on myself, to kind of do my thing. And, kind of started dating again, like closer to the holidays, and then it's the holidays and you're busy. And so then finally, I'm laying there on the couch. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get back out there. I'm ready to meet a partner again. But I'm so sick of my options of finding ways to do that. And that is kind of what inspired it. And like, I literally was on the phone with a friend and I'm on like Canva making my little logo. And I just like throw it on this Facebook page thinking, okay, if I get like 50 people, then I'm going to go with this. I'm going to try and really make this happen. I woke up the next day and it was like 600 people. And then it was like the next day, 50 more, 50 more, 50 more. And I was like, okay, not I'm not the only person feeling this. This is something where there's a serious interest in our community. And I also found it really interesting that I would say, and I get tons of messages daily, I would say most of the people that have reached out to me said they are not on the online dating apps. So when you talk about the pool, in our area, I actually think the pool is so much greater than what people are seeing because people have like maybe tried those here and there and gotten really frustrated. And then they're just like, I can't do this. I'm done. They check out and then they kind of get into this like single bubble of like, I'm content, I'm okay, I don't need to do this. And then when I started this and people started kind of coming out of the woodwork, I'm hearing these stories like, this is kind of what I needed. I was tired of doing Bumble or Tinder was weird. I had too many strange people. So I'm like, okay, this is something that we need here. And I'm really excited to get it going.
Well, and as a woman, I can't imagine what your DMs are like all the time anyway.
Um, maybe someday when I'm like 90 years old, I'll write a when my mother's long gone and she can't see any of it, I might write a book and like take these, stories and these things that people have said and put it into it because it's hilarious.
Um,
Um, I thought about turning my messenger off. Some days I can take it with a grain of salt, and some days I'm like, "Oh man, like this is crazy." But I've also gotten so many messages specifically from single moms, women who are recently divorced, a lot of women, and they're like, you always seem so positive and thank you for starting this. This is something that I'm looking forward to coming to. So those are the stories that make me, really want to keep pushing through and going and kind of ignore the junk or the whole situation this morning on the are we dating the same, it's like there is a lot coming with it that's kind of ick, but
is the are we dating the same man as much of a, well, this is a podcast, so I can say shit show. Is it as much of a shit show as the are we dating the same woman in Toledo Facebook page?
well, first of all, I didn't even know that that existed, and I hope to God I've never been on it.
Uh,
Um,
and I should. It's called the Hofax, just to be
oh,
clear too. Yeah.
very classy. I just
Mm.
keep it classy, Toledo. Like I
Right.
love
Right.
it. Okay. It is. And honestly, today was my last straw. It was part of the driving factor behind me starting this group, by the way. So I just want to make that clear to people. I had two very good guy friends that ended up on that page who are good guys. The one guy had only been on Bumble for 3 hours. He hadn't even like matched with anyone yet. And all of a sudden his pictures like posted on there. And he's like, he actually messaged me. He goes, "Can you believe that this is going on?" He goes, "I haven't even matched with anyone." He's like, "How can somebody take my photograph when I've never even done anything or even showed any interest in him and post it on, a public forum and try to get information from me?" He's like, "Isn't that group about, safety?" And that's what the group was started for. And I do think the people that are running it have those intentions with it. It's supposed to be you're getting ready to go on a date with a guy. You want to make sure like he's safe. You want to make sure he's not married and he's lying, things like that. Where now it's just turned into like, before I even swipe right on this guy, I want to know about him. And that was like the minor craziness that was going on. So
And I
then
think I think the women's page, the women's version, I think is just an ad for OnlyFans at this point.
oh, I'm sure. And this morning I wake up at 5:30 and there's my business logo posted on it and someone's trying to bash me. And first of all, I was like, don't don't go to war with me cuz I'll win. I was like, two, that's not what this page is about. And I did get on there and I should have kept my mouth shut, but I didn't. I did get on there
Yeah,
and I kind of,
never read the comments. Never read
never
the
read the
comments.
comments, but I reached out to try and get a hold of a moderator to take it down. I couldn't get a hold of anybody. You couldn't even message anybody. And so I got on there and said, "Hey, this is not what this page is about. It's not about bashing a business." And that is what this has become. And I am putting a ton of work and time and effort into this to provide something that I think is super valuable and super positive in our community. So it did rub me the wrong way. And
Well,
I mean,
there are so many reasons why I wanted to help promote this, Lisa. And you're starting a local business with this group, with this page. You're
yeah,
supporting other local businesses with this, and supporting
yep,
local people through events like this weekend, where you might find a relationship, you might make a new friend, you might make
yes.
multiple friends, you might get laid. I all of those
Those
things
are
are
all good
possible,
things. All good
right?
things.
And
Um,
again, just sign up at 419 Singles on Facebook. There's an event this weekend and more events coming up. Lisa, I want to wrap things up here, but what else did you want to say?
I just hear my car is getting dark, so we are gonna have to wrap it up. Um, I just want to say the last thing you kind of touched on it. This is not just about finding love. Of course, that's the goal. I want everyone to find love. I believe that everyone is deserving of, that magical, wonderful, happily ever after love. It's so important in life.
You're a
But
romantic.
I'm a hopeless romantic. I mean, here I am, 41, still trying to find love, you know. And I have matched up other friends, and I feel like this is a little bit of a passion of mine. So I'm loving that people are coming to the table and they're excited about this because I'm excited about it. But also, I just want to make sure people know it's not just about finding love, it's also about finding community. So when I was single my first time around, years back, I did not have a singles community. I was very isolated when I went through my divorce. All of my friends were married, you know, everyone had little kids. And then here I am, like the only single mom, and I had no one else to, you know, hang out with, or no one else to talk to or to relate to. I do think that that pushed me into moving on in a relationship a little bit quicker than, you know, maybe I was ready for. Maybe I kind of ignored some red flags because of that. Where now, you know, this time around, I've been able to take this last year and a half. I've been able to heal. I've been able to spend time on me. I have a great support system. I have other single parent friends, other single mom friends, you know, people that are in the same situation and that can really relate to me. So my hope is not just that people find love, but my hope is that people find community, friendship, other people that they can relate to out of this group.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate you coming on for the first trial run of the Scott
Yes.
Sands Show podcast. I appreciate it. And one of the things I think I'm going to enjoy about the podcasting platform as opposed to my radio show is we got to have a longer conversation with Lisa about 419 singles, whereas on the radio show I was kind of limited to 8-10 minute segments. So thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank
As
you
I
for
pull
having
this
me.
It's a Scott Sands Show.
If you're watching just the video, the entire audio is available at the link below. And we'll get better at this as I figure out the home studio and the lighting and the camera, which is a whole new weird thing for me doing a radio show. But I appreciate you tuning in. Find me on all the socials. I'm at Scott Sands Media or at Scott Sands. Thank you to my longtime partners, my sponsors, Four Guys and a Roof, Farnsworth Cocktail Bar. I mentioned Rixa Health, formerly Revive Health. You can find out more at rixahealth.com. The next episode, I'll try to get another one up this week, and we'll get more into the political stuff that I usually talk about because there's a lot happening in the state. There's a lot happening nationally, and we've got some other great local events that I want to cover as well. So thank you very much. Please subscribe on YouTube and all the other platforms. The Scott Sands Show, the new online version of viewing here today. Thank you very much.